Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in into, I guess you can call this a miniature podcast. There's no video, it's all about the audio. Let's get to the point though. Let's Plays. Started as something small, now it's quite booming, especially on services like YouTube. I get a lot of questions every time. John, what advice can you give on starting a channel? What kind of equipment is required? Well, this dude here is interested in making a documentary on the Let's Play community and how it affects the people who create the content to entertain folks like myself and all of you watching. I met him during this past PAX East and he's a pretty cool cat. I'm sure people still use the word cat. Anyway, would you mind introducing yourself, good sir?
Hi, my name is Stephen Arthur, and I am the director of Let's Play the documentary.
All right, then you want to go and explain what exactly it is you're trying to push here.
Of course. So, Let's Play the documentary is a film that's about the impact of Let's Playing, this kind of wonderful medium of entertainment in which people can capture their full gaming experience, including commentary on the people behind the microphone. It's going to kind of cover a little bit of the history of Let's Plays, but it's going to do it by exploring the personal triumphs and the challenges and the work that go with being successful in the YouTube gaming scene.
Anybody that creates Let's Plays and have a pretty substantial subscriber base, they're constantly asked by up-and-coming Let's Players, how exactly do you do this? What's the process of this? What's it like for you making these videos? And though this documentary, I imagine, it's not so much the process of creating a Let's Play, but more like the effect it has on the lives of the people that do this stuff.
Oh, definitely.
So you can kill two birds with one stone that way as well. It's quite safe to assume this video would also work as a great tutorial for those that want to get into this sort of thing but have no idea where to start, and they can look at the lives of these people that you would interview within the upcoming year on how to start making their own stuff.
Yeah, of course. This is definitely going to show, a little bit of the process. There's going to be many interviews talking with people just about, how they approach Let's Playing, like what their take on it is. And so there will definitely be some really great insight onto, how to get into Let's Playing and kind of, why people do it in the first place. But like you said, it's definitely going to be looking more so at how this medium has affected people. And I look to really capture, all the different ways that people can achieve success through this medium, despite where they come from or what their subscriber count is, because you don't need to necessarily be, the largest Let's Player or the largest YouTube personality to find success and happiness in your own way. And I think one of the big goals that I know that I'm going to be able to show with this is just how people can find their own personal individual success on top of, the success of just simply getting a fan base and making these videos that really connect with your fans and things of that such.
Now, I'm going to have a link to the Kickstarter, of course, in the description below, but just to get an idea, I like to ask, why do you want to do this?
So for me, this is not only something that interests me as a fan, but this is definitely a passion project of mine. I used to be a Let's Player, and I no longer really do that, but I had a blast when I was going through it. So just from my own personal experiences, I know how this medium has affected me, and it's given me a ton of opportunities that I would have never had. But moreover, it's just that I've seen through the years, I've been involved in the Let's Play scene in some way, shape, or form since around 2008. So in the last 7 years, I've really got to see people grow through their videos, and I've seen some really cool stories and almost storylines develop of where you see this one content creator that you really like, and you maybe catch him when he's, really small, and you just watch as, his videos get more professional and he, starts to become more comfortable. And it's this, really awesome journey that you just get to experience as a fan. So there's benefits on both sides, both being a creator and a fan. And I think because I was able to see both sides of that coin, basically, it really, I don't know, it gets me to a nostalgic point where I feel as though everybody should feel the way that I feel. You know what I mean? Because I'm so passionate about this, and I think that it's so awesome. So it's just a combination of those two things, I think, more so than anything, that really motivate me to do this. And then, of course, my recent experiences with this Kickstarter and talking to people at PAX East and just seeing all the support from the Let's Play community, it really shows how tight-knit this group is, and it makes me want to, do this for the community even more so than I did before.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've met Mr. Stephen Arthur at PAX East. He's a pretty good dude. Bitching beard as well. I love the beard, dude. I'm not sure if he's still rocking it while we're recording this, but, it's like, wow, this guy's, I want that beard.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
No problem, dude. The project is ending April 6th. That is 2 weeks from this past Monday. You are currently $847 out of a pledge of $13,750. So still got a ways to go, but it's exactly why we do things like this, to bring attention to it. I got this video that's going to go up. Going to link it on the Facebook, both my personal and fan page, and of course Twitter, where I think my Twitter account is like the biggest source of like attention grabbing next to my YouTube channel. If there's any way you guys listening in can spread the word on this particular Kickstarter, because I think this is really interesting, honestly. A documentary on the process of a Let's Play, or how it affects the lives of people that do this stuff to fill the time, or to, as a job, like people like a PewDiePie or a Markiplier, Game Grumps. It'd be really interesting to see what things look like from behind the scenes that you can't get from a standard Q&A process, like a live stream or something like that.
For anybody out there who is thinking about supporting this, I just want to let you know that, you don't need to necessarily go above and beyond. It doesn't need to be, something where it's like a $50 donation or anything like that. As Johnny said, just spreading the word is more than I could ever ask for, and any donation helps. $1 is just as important as, say $1,000 would be to me. So I thank you all for the support. It's been really a truly wonderful experience for me.
I don't want to sound like a broken machine, or a cliche machine when other websites ask for a pledge, but considering the amount of subscribers this channel has, if everyone would have donated $1, you'd be funded and then some. But all right, one important question I do want to ask. I feel like this is pretty important. Where do you go from here, like after this video? Like, what are you going to do?
Okay, well, I actually have plans to do a live stream marathon. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be this weekend or next weekend. There will definitely be an update video, but I've been talking with people, in my personal circle, and we're definitely going to be trying to do some sort of like gaming marathon, probably about 36 hours over a weekend, either like I said this weekend or next weekend, just to have a fundraiser of sorts to try to raise additional funds and spread the word. And then past the Kickstarter, regardless of whether or not it gets funded, this is something that I definitely want to do, something that I'm going to do. And I've already set up interviews with a couple of Let's Players, and I'm still sending out messages trying to get anybody who's interested, as many interviews as I can. So really from here it's just evaluating what happens with the Kickstarter, and then past that it's just following up with some of the interviews and trying to make more, and just making this happen.
Alrighty then. Okay, so you guys see the link in the description below. It's Let's Play the documentary by Stephen Arthur. Get on that. Please, we can do this, folks. I have faith. You guys never let me down before. I got a feeling you won't let me down again. But Mr. Arthur, it was nice meeting you again. Thank you for showing up for this. It's kind of like a small podcast, like a radio show when I think about it. It's kind of interesting for me. I always kind of want to do this sort of thing. But anyway, dude, it was nice meeting you. I'll catch you guys later with the next video coming up. You guys all have yourselves a fantastic night. Thank you for listening, and take care.